Right.
Hello, everybody. We are here. Heather, we can't see you. Heather's here too. We said we're going to squish for a second. Just want to welcome you guys. We are here in Scottsdale. I don't know if you guys can see out there. Nope, not at all. But we are at the leadership retreat and missing all of you, of course, that are our teammates, excited to share what we do, why we do it, and why we definitely think you should too with the team. So, or with the guests that are either viewing this recording or here live with us. So just want to kind of officially welcome you and jump right in. We're going to start just by kind of, they're gone.
Something she said?
Just want to start with sharing a little bit of our stories. So we will apparently take turns, and I'm first. But you know, I started this journey. I'm the oldest coach on the team. I started 13 years ago, which is actually shocking to me because I've never done anything for that length of time. When I started, honestly, I had no idea of what's possible. I had no idea what I was getting into. And if you're like me and I'm a super detailed person. So even for me to say yes to anything without knowing all of the things, honestly, I'm thankful for that every single day because I don't think I would be here otherwise. And I know that I'm meant to be here, just like I know that you're meant to be listening to this, watching this with us here today. And I just hope that you're open to learning more because this has ended up being one of the, if not the best decision of my life. So when I started, I was waiting tables. I had graduated college, much to my dad's dismay. I was still waiting tables. He was not thrilled about it, but I'm going to tell you that no matter what, I was a hard worker. I was a hustler. I would pick up any shift. Everybody knew at that job that I was the one. But the thing is no matter how hard I worked, I could only create so much income that way, right? So I was always kind of searching and looking for opportunities. But at the same time, I did value fitness. I enjoyed exercise. I used to go to the gym like an hour and a half a day. I never got results like I did once I found these BODi programs. So that's just a little bit of background. But now as far as like when I actually started, because I really want you guys hopefully to potentially see yourself in the beginning of my journey. I was at a very low place in my life. I was recently married, and you know, the best way to say it is honestly, I just felt like my husband enjoyed partying more than he enjoyed being married to me. And I had always been kind of like a perfectionist, a control freak. I'm type A. I mean, I was very beaten down and disappointed in myself. I was upset that I had allowed myself to get to that place. I didn't know how. I'd gone from kind of this, you know, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I had big dreams and hopes and ambitions, and I was so far removed from that side of myself. And insert Beachbody, which is now called BODi. Some of you guys may even be more familiar with Beachbody, those programs from years ago that you would see all over the infomercials, P90X, Insanity. Have you guys seen or heard or done any of those? So ironically, that husband that I was having such struggles with, he saw a late night P90X infomercial. And at that time, he did not incorporate health and fitness at all into his life. We actually had a white couch. And I will never forget, he loved nacho cheese Doritos. They're orange. They should not be eaten on a white couch, especially when you're married to an OCD type A wife. And I will never forget. He said, you know what? I saw this infomercial. I want to do this workout. So I did what any good wife would do. I literally went to work. I picked up a shift just to buy him this exercise program. And then he did what typically happens when you don't put skin in the game, when you don't sacrifice anything for something. I did. I worked the shift. I earned the money. I bought the workout. It showed up, and he let it sit there and collect dust. I was devastated because I'm also thrifty, and I'm not trying to pay my money for something you're not going to use. So I started my own journey with Beachbody back then with P90X. Like I said, I got better results in less time. Shockingly, I was shocked at how my body transformed in those 90 days. And I knew I was never going to do another workout outside of the Beachbody platform. Fast forward a little bit, still in that troubled marriage, still feeling low, still hiding my pain because I was so embarrassed and so humiliated. And I started the Insanity workout. It's called Insanity for a reason. It is literally insane. It was so hard. It was so challenging, which is something I typically enjoy, but I was so beaten down. Have you ever just been in a place emotionally where you're so beaten down, you're physically tired? I hope you guys can hear me. They're taking a drink cart by. Okay, good. I was just feeling so low. And I remember I messaged my coach. Now I'm like, I don't know what a coach is. Like, does she have a softball team that I haven't heard about? Like, I don't even know. I just know this lady called herself a coach and she was helpful and she would message me. And I was like, I need help. I need to finish this exercise program. Now, what I didn't know in that moment was it wasn't about the exercise program. I needed to just know that like I could do something because my life was spinning out of control. I felt like I was just so disappointed in myself. I needed to finish this program. Sorry. It was a long time ago, but it still matters. And I'll never forget, I asked her, what do I do? I didn't share. I didn't know what my actual issue was. I'm just like, this program is hard. How do I finish? I'm not a quitter. And she said, you know what? You need to drink Shakeology. Now that is our incredible superfood loaded, nutrient dense meal replacement shake. And I'm like, ugh, this lady's just selling me a shake. I'm also very skeptical by nature. I'm like, I knew she was making money off me. But you know what? I was desperate enough. And like I said, I'm an overthinker, you guys. Like in college, I used to go through Walmart with my shopping cart. I'd fill it up. By the time I got to the counter, I'd put everything back and I'd walk back to school. Like I'm bad. So the fact that I that day knew I was desperate enough, I had already predetermined I was going to do whatever she said. Now I was mad about it. I didn't believe it would help or that it would work. And I'm thrifty. So she also said, you know what? You can drink the whole bag. You can return it empty. And I had 30 days left. So I was in. I'm like, great. Said I was going to do it. She's like, you should go ahead and enroll as a coach, which we now call partner, just in case you keep it because you'll get it for less money. Done. I'm like, okay, fine. I clear off my shelf. I'm like, here's my box. Here's my receipt. I'm going to I like got out my calendar. Back then you wrote on calendars. I know probably nobody does that anymore. I'm like, return on this day for a full refund. And started my journey into the most extraordinary business that has literally impacted every single area of my life in the best way possible. It's why I'm sitting here at this leadership retreat, wanting to take time out to invite you to this opportunity, because I thank my coach every single day, whether out loud or in my head or messaging her. I'm sure she's probably tired of my messages by now, but I'm like, every single day for sharing this with me. When I was skeptical, when I was probably annoying, when she's probably like, this girl's never going to do anything with this. She stuck with me. And what happened was 2 weeks into drinking Shakeology every day, it got into my system. It's an adaptogen. Once it's in your bloodstream, you feel its full effects. I had no idea. I actually went like, ah. And I remember that was the first time in a long time I had exhaled. And I started feeling these good side effects on my body. I thought I ate healthy, especially back then, 13 years ago. I ate low fat. I skipped cheese. I skipped mayonnaise. Like I was the epitome of health. So to get these superfoods into my body, I started to feel the effects. But in addition to that, she put me into a team. And all of a sudden I had these people that were supportive and in my corner, something I just didn't really have. I didn't even know I needed. And I thought, man, what if I could do this? Like, obviously she's earning money somehow. I always had a dream to have a job that I got paid well, because like I said, I'm a hard worker. I want to be rewarded for my efforts, but also that made a difference, where I wasn't just feeling like, what is the point of all of this? I had a lot of those questions back then. Does it matter? What am I doing? So this ended up being that. And that's just the beginning of a very long journey. That same husband, because I committed to not only my fitness, but we also work on our insides. Our mental health is just as important as our physical health. We ended up transforming our marriage, transforming our bank account, transforming every part of our life. I now have a 4-year-old son literally because of the steps I've taken. And it's really just the beginning of what's possible with this opportunity. So next I'm going to shoot it over to Michael and Megan. Okay, Megan, to share a little bit of her story. And if you guys even have questions as we go, or if you're watching this recording, definitely drop them in the comments or shoot them to the person that sent you this video.
Hey, you guys. So it is just so surreal being here. And I just love that we all get to come together and share here. So my story, I met Mike, who's going to talk after me, at my gym. And at the time of me getting involved in just the programs and lifestyle here, I probably had been a nurse for about like 3 years. So a newer nurse. And on the outside, I probably looked like I had everything figured out and everything going for me. I was newly engaged. I had an amazing job. And as far as I knew, like my future was there and I was just on my path. the thing that really got me exposed to Mike was I started going to my gym more because I had an upcoming wedding about 6 months ahead of time. And I just wasn't happy with the way that I looked. Working as a nurse, working nights, weekends, 24-hour shifts, it really took a toll on my body. I developed a lot of bad habits that I'm not proud of. And I could not stick with anything. Like, it didn't matter what thing they were doing at the gym. It didn't matter that I had like one of the most like bougie gym memberships. I just could not stay consistent. I could not get results. And if I did, it was because I was taking extreme measures, dieting, eating chicken, and and I would lose 5 pounds and I would gain it. I would lose weight and I would gain it, but I could never sustain results and just feel confident with how I looked and felt. So I randomly walked into one of his classes one night. It was an insanity program because him and Jess were actually filming, or they were about to film, whatever the timeline was at the time. And that was essentially my introduction to what BODi was. And like Jess mentioned, that program, and when it came out, I bought it, but that program did something different for me than anything in the past had. It not only was so effective, and that feeling of like, oh my God, I can't believe that I did this. And it was the motivation and everything that was really just instilled in your mind that made me think differently about everything. So when I purchased that program and I went through my first 2 months, I had not only lost 12 pounds, but I had changed who I was on the inside. I was a better fiance at the time. I was a better friend. I was a better nurse. Like, I went from rolling out of bed and going to work all grouchy to really showing up and being able to provide a higher level of care for my patients. I was happier, I was more confident, and I was excited to focus on me. So I didn't start coaching right away. I initially signed up as a partner coach because I wanted that discount. And for 10 months, I kind of just lurked and looked around behind the scenes. I was added to a team page that we still have today. And what's crazy to share with you guys, like, Jess was one of those people like at the top that had made it, that had achieved so much. And I mean, she was achieving things that I don't even know that I could have achieved had I been a doctor. And that was really what inspired me to at least open my mind to this thing that I knew nothing about, that I was definitely skeptical and leery of, and something that prior to being involved or exposed, I would have dismissed immediately. But through seeing people like Jess and other people on the team, this team that were sharing their wins, paying off student loans, which was such a problem for me. Like, my credit score was terrible. My husband and I were paying for our wedding ourselves. I had mounds of student loan debt. And despite having a really great job, I was living paycheck to paycheck and really wasn't able to save or invest. And we were thinking about having kids. It was a lot. So to see somebody like Jess or like Mike or anybody on this team achieving all of this, I thought, if they can do all of that, then surely I could do something. Maybe if at the very least, I could at least cover my products so I can continue feeling amazing. Maybe I can earn a little bit more so that I could contribute to my groceries, or maybe a date night, or who knows, maybe one day having a cleaning lady or something like that. So I simply asked, like, what do I need to do? How do I get started? And I just listened. It was really simple. I was already focusing on myself. So all I simply had to do was share that with other people, and other people were already noticing, which was really easy. I mean, like I said, I was showing up to work a completely different person. But it's been almost 9 years of me doing this. And initially it was for fun. Then it was a hobby. Then it was my dreams just got bigger and bigger, right? Like, I went from just wanting a discount to, who knows, maybe one day I won't have to work holidays anymore. Maybe one day I won't have to work weekends. Maybe one day I won't have to work overtime. I won't have to have this schedule that I have to abide to, where I have to beg to get off of work. And to think that 8, 9 years later, I now have 2 kids that are 5 and 3. In 2020, I completely left nursing to do this full time. And since then, I have dabbled back in. Now I'm a substitute school nurse, which is really fun. And I get to do that when I choose to, and be involved in my son's school system in a way that feels authentic for me. But this has provided me with time, flexibility, and freedom, which is my most, like, that's what I take pride in the most. That I get to be not only the best version of myself, I get to be that much better for everybody in my family. I have people who have become best friends who I get to enjoy all of this with. I've been able to help hundreds of and thousands of people with their own results and building this financial opportunity as well. And as somebody who has spent over a decade, 12 years now, in critical care, helping people with illness, now through this business and everything that we do here at BODi, I get to focus and help people with the things that prevent them from going to the hospital in the first place. This is the most gratifying and rewarding work I have ever done. And you guys, like, I used to work in transplant nursing, like literally saving lives. And I feel like I am doing that work here through what we do. So thank you for listening. I'm going to hand it off to Mike and Heather, and you'll hear from them. Okay, maybe you go on the other side.
Slide it in.
We're coming.
If you guys saw what we're doing, you'd be laughing
Musical chairs.
hysterically.
Hi, you guys.
No. All right. Let's wrap this up. So we're gonna just talk to you a little bit about our story, and maybe parts of this will connect with you. Just understand everyone starts for different reasons and in different ways. And I think that's the most powerful part of this, is that people come in from all walks of life, and that's pretty cool. So this rock star right here to my side was not on board when I started, but I want to take you back because this is a two-phase operation for me, and I think that's very common for a lot of people. I was already doing fitness stuff. I wasn't new to fitness, so I didn't have a huge, although I lost 20-something pounds. I wasn't new to the fitness world. Like I worked out, I was running, I was lifting weights, not doing either of those too well, but I was doing something. So when I got introduced to a home workout program, I was a hard sell. Like I didn't think that's how you got results. So it took like someone saying, listen, just try this workout. Like just do one of them. Like I love it. And I'm like, all right, kind of on that body part today, like, whatever, I'm just going to try this. And from that day on, literally, it's just no joke, from that day on, that one workout, I have not done something on my own since that day. Was it 14 years ago? Like, I don't even know. So here's the part, the two-phase part. So I got a transformation. I fell in love with the programs, and I was so resistant to it in the beginning. So that's important to keep in mind. So if you're in the fitness world already, or maybe you're already like super fit and you're like, I don't need this, or maybe you're just like kind of in the fitness world, or you're not at all. Regardless, it's like the challenge to try it. And then it took me like a little bit to try the nutrition part of it. Like, it's just so stubborn. Like I got to have my cereal for breakfast and, subs for lunch and like a Diet Coke. I'm just laughing at it now. It's like, you idiot, you should have just started earlier. You did the fitness. You can't just do part of it. Like you got to do all of it. You don't brush half your teeth, you brush them all. So when I finally dove into the nutrition part, I tried Shakeology, and I was so resistant to, like, I'm not doing a shake. I'm not a shake person. But like, seeing is believing. I'm a seeing is believing kind of person. I'm a state trooper by day. I still have a full-time job. And so I sat on this. I sat on those results for years. And it really just took being exposed to other partners. You heard from Jess. I was exposed to Jessica. Like, I met other people that were doing this, and as a business, telling people about it. So again, stubborn me just took forever to get on board, but I was open enough because I wanted to twofold. I was already telling people what I was doing. They're like, what are you doing? Like, you're getting great results. Like, guys usually don't tell other guys, like, hey man, you look good. Like, that doesn't happen. I don't know if women do that, but guys don't. So I'm like, I'm onto something here. Like, this is like, people are noticing. Obviously I should just keep doing this because I'm getting great results. And I saw people earning an income doing this. That's an important thing. Like, I was already primed to want to do something more, even though my plate was full, being a state trooper. Like, I wanted to have something that I had ownership in, that I could control. And I wanted to have a side business, earning income. So this was a perfect match. It just took me forever to get there, but I did. And I think that's maybe the best takeaway of this, is I did. So I started, I met Jess. I joined this team, but this one didn't. And you already hear from her in 1 second, but she didn't, because she didn't think that we needed this. You'll hear from her. She's an attorney. We had 2 young girls at the time. They were 5 and 7, and we didn't need this. At least her, like, we don't need more on our plate. You have a great job. I have a great job. Like, why do you need to do this? And I can't explain that. I just know that something inside of me was burning and it needed to be ignited. And I don't know if you've ever felt like that before, but there was something that you can't put a finger on it. You can't explain that to somebody, that burning sensation of, I need to do more. I need to have more impact, and there's more I need to accomplish. And it's okay to put more on your plate. Anyway, she gave me a 6-month contract to prove that this is worth our family's time. I said, challenge accepted. Put my head down for 6 months. I got a 6-month extension. And now I'm going to pass this on to her, because she is now one of the most amazing partners, coaches, mentors in this entire business. So Heather, take it from there.
Thanks. Hey, you guys. So to say that I didn't see this coming would be a huge understatement. Michael shared with you, I went to law school. I was busy. I clerked for a judge in big law firm world. Practiced for a really long time, even when the girls were little. And I really, if someone would have said, oh, you're going to be a health and wellness partner with this company called BODi,
Offended,
I would have been like, what are you talking about? So to say that this wasn't on my radar would be an understatement. That I was skeptical would be an understatement. And it is true. I really did kind of give it to Mike and say like, okay, let's just see how this goes. Because for me, it's funny, you know, as a lawyer, everything's billed in 6-minute increments, tick tock, tick tock. So I'm always like, the clock is always on my mind, and time has always been, I think, my greatest motivator. And so for me, I was worried that this would take too much from our family's time. Our kids were 5 and 7 at the time. They're now 14 and almost 17, which is crazy. We've been doing this for a long, long time. So anyways, what I saw in Michael, which was really, I thought, so profound, is that I saw a lightness in him. You know, it's hard to
I
be
didn't talk about that.
someone
so.
in the world of police. Like, that's hard. Law enforcement families, first responders, you know, it's stressful. And then I saw things that were entering our family, like, you know, I would call it discretionary income. You're going out more, you're celebrating more, you're going on like little weekend getaways, out to dinner, getting your nails done. Things were just, there was a little bit more breathing room, so to speak, if that makes sense. And you know, he was really all in. And at that point, I was like, okay, great. This is great for you. But it wasn't until really 2020 where I kind of drew my line in the sand. I saw what was at that point, I had seen year after year, the possibilities from this business opportunity, and I went all in. I still do consult with my law firm, but this is my full-time focus. And what it has afforded our family, more than income, which of course is important, and it has given us supplemental income, is time that I think is the most precious, because I've been able to be home. I was home with our kids during all of COVID when they were like homeschooling and all that kind of stuff. And I've been home ever since. And it's allowed us to get to every soccer game, get to every horse show, get to every after school activity, an event. And you guys know, if you're a parent, that stuff matters. And it really, for me, was always at the top of my list. And I felt very torn in the legal world, because it is extremely difficult to have that family life balance. And this has given us that balance, and that has been profoundly impactful for our family. And it is, and I know for everybody who's on our team, like, we get to go on trips together, and you can bring your family, you don't have to, but we choose to, and
Not every year.
And it's given us a whole lot of experiences. So what I'll say is that most people start, all looks the same. It all begins with you. It begins with your commitment to your own health and wellness, which is just so incredibly powerful. And from there, it's just this natural, organic sharing. And then, of course, this team behind you and its resources to help you, support you along the way.
I always say, like, you pick your favorite sport and you're trying to win the championship in that sport. And I think that's what this team brings to the table, is that, you know, we're a championship winning team, and we know how to put you in the championship winning game. And then it's up to you to perform. I mean, ultimately, but like to have that team behind you, that expectation of championships. I don't know, that's the best analogy I can kind of give as a sports analogy. But that's, you know, kind of what we offer. So I think the fact that you're here watching this video is one of the biggest takeaways, because I don't know if I would have been on a video like this. I don't know if I have been open enough to be on a video if I hadn't been forced into it, if you will. So congratulations for being here. I'll just leave you with this. Like, you don't have to be a fitness expert. You don't have to be a nutrition expert. You don't have to be a business expert. You just have to be willing to commit to yourself. And that's the biggest and number one tip I can give you. Just be willing to have the confidence in yourself, and we'll help you with the rest of it. We'll help you with the learning. We'll help you with the training. We'll help you with all the ins and outs of the business. But is there something burning within inside of you? Can you commit to yourself? And are you willing to do the things? If you can answer yes to these things, like, this is a no-brainer. I think this whole business is a no-brainer. And we've been doing it for 9 years. So anyway, thank you for being on here. I'll say goodbye for everyone else, because we're not going to squish around the table again. But thank you for being on the call, and contact the coach that invited you to watch this video, and ask those hard questions, ask those tough questions, and we hope to see you in the team page soon enough.
Hi, everyone.
See you guys.
Thanks.